The moon hung low in the night sky, casting an eerie glow upon the dense forest as my friends and I embarked on what would become the worst nightmare of our lives. A true and disturbing camping horror story that transcended the realm of ordinary fear. As we pitched our tents in a remote clearing, excitement mingled with anticipation. Little did we know that the tranquility of the woods concealed an ominous secret, a malevolence that waited to unveil itself in the heart of the night. As the embers of our campfire dimmed, an unsettling stillness enveloped the forest. Shadows danced on the periphery, seemingly alive with a sinister energy. Unease settled over our campsite like an invisible fog, its tendrils seeping into the very fabric of our collective consciousness. The first sign of the impending horror manifested in distant whispers, a chorus of disembodied voices that resonated through the trees. We dismissed it as a trick of the wind, clinging to the rational in an attempt to dispel the encroaching dread. However, the whispers persisted, growing in intensity as if beckoning us into the heart of an unseen malevolence. As the night deepened, an otherworldly cold permeated the air. A spectral fog crept through the trees, shrouding our campsite in an impenetrable mist. Panic flickered in our eyes as the fog coalesced into ethereal figures, apparitions that moved with an unnatural grace, their faces obscured by the fog. Frozen in terror, we watched as the spectral figures circled our tents, their movements synchronized in a macabre dance. A guttural chant emanated from the shadows, a language long forgotten yet laden with an ancient malevolence. The forest itself seemed to pulse with an unseen heartbeat, resonating with the ritualistic horrors unfolding before us. Desperation guided our attempt to flee the encroaching nightmare. Yet, with every step, the fog thickened, distorting the once familiar landscape into a nightmare-sh maze. The lesson unfolded, a stark revelation that in the heart of the unknown, ancient forces may awaken, indifferent to the trespassers who disturb their sanctity. As we stumbled through the spectral fog, a clearing revealed an ancient altar, a relic from a forgotten time. The apparitions converged, their chants reaching a fevered pitch. In that horrifying moment, the lesson crystallized. The consequences of wandering into the unknown extend beyond the physical realm. As the first light of dawn pierced the spectral fog, we found ourselves on the edge of the forest, the nightmare dissipating like a vanquished specter. The once exciting camping trip had become an odyssey through the darkest corridors of the supernatural. The lesson lingered, a haunting reminder that nature, when disturbed, may harbor ancient forces that defy comprehension. That worst nightmare, etched into the fabric of our memory, spoke of an encounter with forces beyond our understanding. The forest, once a backdrop for adventure, had become a realm where the echoes of an ancient malevolence demanded respect, teaching us that venturing into the unknown requires acknowledging the spectral guardians that dwell within. The moon cast an eerie glow over the desolate campground as my friends and I settled into our tents, unaware that our tranquil camping trip would soon transform into a terrifying nightmare, a true and disturbing camping horror story etched into the shadows of our memories. As the night descended, an unsettling stillness gripped the air. The crackling campfire provided little solace against the encroaching darkness, and an inexplicable unease settled over our campsite. A foreboding sense of being watched lingered like a spectral presence in the woods. The first sign of impending horror manifested in distant whispers, a haunting murmur that danced on the edges of perception. Dismissing it as the rustle of the wind, we laughed nervously, clinging to the rational. However, the whispers persisted, growing in intensity like a sinister chorus beckoning us into the depths of the unknown. As the spectral night unfolded, the forest seemed to come alive with malevolence. Shadows moved with a life of their own, dancing in macabre patterns beneath the twisted branches. Fear threaded through our camaraderie, binding us in a shared sense of dread that transcended spoken words. A chilling wind swept through the trees, carrying with it the scent of decay. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted, and the once familiar woods transformed into a labyrinth of nightmares. Panic surged as we realized that an unseen force was toying with our perception, distorting the boundaries between reality and the supernatural. The heart of the nightmare revealed itself in a clearing, a place that seemed untouched by the passage of time. An ancient altar stood as a grim monument, its presence evoking a sense of dread. Whispers of an unspeakable ritual echoed in the cold night air, underscoring the lesson that unfolded. a stark reminder that the untouched corners of nature may harbor ancient malevolence. Desperation gripped us as we navigated the haunted forest, our flashlights flickering in the spectral gloom. Apparitions manifested in the shadows, their ghostly forms contorting in unnatural ways. The lesson crystallized: the consequences of trespassing into the supernatural realm are not merely physical but echo in the recesses of the mind. Finally, as the first light of dawn broke, we emerged from the spectral labyrinth, our nightmares dissipating like morning mist. The once idyllic camping trip had become an odyssey through the darkest corridors of the supernatural. The lesson lingered, a haunting acknowledgement that nature, when disturbed, may unleash nightmares that defy explanation. That terrifying nightmare, etched into our collective memory, spoke of an encounter with forces beyond comprehension. The forest, once a haven for adventure, had become a realm where nightmares whispered through the leaves, teaching us that the untouched corners of nature demand respect, and venturing into the unknown requires acknowledging the spectral guardians that dwell within.